freezing our paints. That is, how do we make a particular segment or part or some rows or columns of our sheet to stay fixed even as we scroll down left or right on the same sheet. So that's what I mean by freezing our pane. For instance, if I want to get any information on row 20, for instance, you will discover that as I get to that particular row, the header is no longer shown. You can't see the header again. So, but we can do it in such a way that the header will be fixed. Even if you are scrolling down to the bottom of the table, the header will still be showing so that we know which particular heading is for this column, which particular heading is for this and that. So that is what I mean by freezing our pane. Then splitting our screen. We may decide to split what we have in this particular screen so that we can split them into 4 segments or whatever. Then we can also split different windows as we decide. So let's start from the freezing of our panes. To freeze a particular pane, let's say we want to freeze this first row, all you have to do is you use your freeze as what is it called, the tool for freezing this particular place. So what do? We go to the view tab, no longer home tab. Now we go to view. Under the view you will see freeze pane. We have 3 options there. If I click this drop down arrow, you will see is either I freeze some selected panes myself, or I freeze the top row, or freeze the first column. Let's start from freezing the top row. When I click freeze the top row, it means the first row, which is the header, will be fixed as I move my cursor, or sorry, as I move down the table. You can see as I'm moving down, the first row is remaining fixed. So you can say, okay, this particular thing here is under department, this one is under salary. If I move down to the bottom of the table, the first row will remain fixed. Then another thing is you can also fix the first column. Let's go back to our view, then freeze pane, and let's select freeze first column. So if I move to the right, the first column will remain fixed. That's column A will not move. So that is how to freeze. Then the last one, which is last way to freeze now, is when you go back to this, you can freeze a particular segment. Maybe I want to freeze the first 3 rows, I want to freeze the first this, or the first 3 rows and the first 2 columns. All you need to do is you go to that freeze, but before you do this, you click the particular point where you want to start from. Let's say I want the first 5 rows to be freezed, while the first 2 columns to be freezed also. So I will go to this particular place, that is below the first 5 rows and after the first 2 columns. I think it should be here. So anything by the left and above where I select will be freezed. So let's do that. On freeze pane first, then go to this place, freeze panes. Just select freeze pane. So it is select, you can see the line is already showing that okay, anything to the left of this place and to the top is freeze. So if I scroll down, you discover that those first 5 rows are frozen. So I can use this for if I want to see the country also. Let me undo this. To undo, what you just need to do is go to that place and unfreeze. So let's say I click on this, nothing in the left, but I have 2 particular rows above. So I will go to freeze paint. So meaning that the first 2 rows are frozen. So when I move down, you discover that those first 2 rows are not moving. So that is how to freeze our